Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 in Law of Banking and Financial Institutions. This is Professor Dunaway. I hope you're all having a great weekend and a happy Memorial Day. So your first assignment was due last night. So if you haven't already asked for an extension or have not turned it in, be sure you do so as soon as possible so that late fees do not continue to accumulate, or late late points don't accumulate. Sorry about that. Um, so for week 3, you learned about organization of banks, bank powers, and branch banking. Excuse me. There were 3 videos we wanted you to take a look at, and then there were also several sections from the banking law online text that we wanted you to read as well. So after doing all that, at the end of the week, you should be able to, or should now be able to, understand the basic steps to the formation of a bank and the regulation or the regulatory expectations for new banks. You also learned the scope and limitations of bank powers. And then you should also know each bank charter's branching powers and the extent by which a bank is able to establish a branch in its home and host states. And then you should also know the impact, excuse me, of the Dodd-Frank Act on branch banking. So that was for week 3. So this week, week 4, we'll be learning about duties of bank directors and officers, insider transactions, and conflicts of interests. So by the end of the week, you'll be familiar with the 2 primary fiduciary duties of bank directors and officers, and then also the related regulatory expectations of such. You should also understand the extent by which a bank may indemnify its directors and officers. And then finally, understand the limitations on insider transactions imposed by regulations OW and then other conflict of interest rules that you'll be learning about. So this week there are 3 videos posted, and there's also a few sections again from the banking law online text. And then there's also various regulations we want you to take a look at. There's some federal regs as well as state regulations in California. So obviously people are all over the country. We can't do each state individually. So Professor DeLune, since he practices in California and that's what he's familiar with, there are some California state regs that he will be having you take a look at. So that is for week 4. And then just looking ahead, week 5, you'll be learning about other bank charters for savings associations, industrial banks and non-bank banks, and credit unions. So that's for week 5. So for this week, you want to be sure that you post in the discussion forum. You want to do the reading that I mentioned of the banking law sections and the regulations. You want to watch 3 videos. Optional office hours this week are with Professor DeLune on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So again, if you have any questions, you can stop in and he will be there. And then your next assignment is due right away this coming Sunday, so June 3rd, at the end of week 4. So be sure that you get that in on time, or if you need an extension, contact me prior to Sunday to request an extension. And then just looking ahead, you want to make sure, so your second assignment again is due this Sunday, and then your third assignment is due right away the following Sunday. So if you do need an extension, just make sure you understand that there are several assignments back to back, and then your final assignment you cannot get an extension for that final assignment. So if you get behind, you'll need to catch up at some point since there are no extensions available for that final assignment. So I think that's everything. I haven't gotten too many questions, so I think everyone seems like everyone's doing well. I will be grading your first assignment by Wednesday evening. I should have your grades posted. And then if everybody has their work in by next week, I will kind of go over some of the main areas where people lost points or some of the general areas where you all could do better. So I think that's it. So I hope you all have a great rest of the day and a great week. And I will be talking to you next weekend. Thanks, everyone.